Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be Dating Detective. Try before you buy. Well, I've got an email here from a guy who's pretty young, 18 years old, freshman in college. The days of being young and at college, and that is absolutely, when you're that young and you're just going off to college, that is like the only time in your life where you're going to be around that many single, horny people that are your own age who have the same goals and values than you do. And having a book like mine and understanding the principles that I teach in that can really give you a great college experience with a lot of great memories that you'll be able to look back on the whole rest of your life and make you smile, as opposed to having the kind of memories that I have of college, which is a lot of fucking frustration and not getting what I want. So it's really cool when I talk to people or I coach people, I get emails or success stories from guys or girls that are in college, and they share how much my work has helped him to have these amazing experiences. And it's just nice after knowing how much I struggled and how I was just so in the dark back when I went to school. I mean, back when I was in school, quite frankly, the internet was something that was just starting to be talked about, and it really wasn't something that was used that much as commonplace like it is today. So it's definitely the younger generation has it great. So what we're going to talk about today, obviously, this particular guy is applying. He's read my book several times. Met a great girl at orientation. Things started off pretty easy and effortless, hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. Seems like everything's going great. Right at week 6, she asked him to be exclusive. And then after about a month into it, he notices that she seems to be kind of flirtatious with other guys. As a matter of fact, she becomes so flirtatious with another dude that he asks her to this ROTC type of dance. And she tells her boyfriend that she'd kind of like to go, and he basically says, yeah, sure, go ahead, no big deal, I trust you. But then the next day he's thinking, wait a minute, what's going on here? So case in point, this is the perfect reason why you date. Because just because the girl's hot and she's beautiful, great body, sex is great, doesn't mean that she's great girlfriend material. And too many people get caught up in their emotions and they completely ignore the reality of the way that person is. Because think about it, what do you see in movies and TV all the time? You meet somebody and you just get carried away on a wave of emotion and you live happily ever after, and fireworks and skyrockets are going off and all kinds of crazy things. And that's nice in the movies and that's nice in a fantasy world, but in the real world, you get your heart broken and you be stinging from that shit for months, if not years, after things go sideways. So the idea is when we're dating, we want to see how we can take things that are in the book and kind of screen out find the red flags as quickly as possible with these potential lovers, so you know what you're dealing with, so you know whether or not that person is long-term relationship material or they're really just kind of fuck buddy, friends with benefits, hookup kind of material. Because the worst thing you can do is get involved with somebody and try to make them into somebody to have a relationship with when they're really just somebody that's kind of a hookup type of person. Because otherwise you're asking for a shitload of trouble, because you're always going to be trying to change somebody who, number one, ain't going to be interested in changing, and number two, is going to resent the fact that you're trying to change them. So the idea is to make a good quality choice from the get-go, because once you're head over heels in love with somebody, you find out 6 months later that they're a fucking scoundrel. It's a lot harder to dump them and end that relationship, even when you know you should, when you're already goo goo gaga over them, as opposed to if you're able to discover this stuff by the second or third date or 2 or 3 weeks in. It's much better to discover it right away than several months later. So I have a quote that I wrote on this topic, and then we're going to go through this guy's email. And the quote says, "A pretty face and a beautiful body should not be the only criteria that you consider when determining a potential lover's suitability, compatibility, or integrity level." Like when I was younger, I looked at how a woman made me feel and how she looked when I first met her. And because I had never gotten to date the kind of women I really wanted for any length of time, more than a second or you're getting past the second or third date. I didn't know what it's like. It didn't dawn on me that you could have a completely drop-dead gorgeous, stunning woman who physically pushes all of my buttons, but yet could be a total fucking Fruit Loop. I just never even considered that possibility. And if you haven't had a lot of experience dating the kind of women you really want, it's like you just don't know what you don't know. And of course, when you don't know that, you learn the hard way, which obviously I did if you've read the book. One of the reasons why I'm so good at what I do is because I fucked up a lot. I made a lot of mistakes, more than the average person does. I try more things than most people do. It's the same type of philosophy that I employ in my business. It's just trial and error. When I don't know something, I go out and find somebody who's the best at it. And I study and I model their success. And I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly refining. I'm constantly trying new things. So the quote continues on, you should look at dating as being like test driving a used car. Just because someone looks good on the outside does not mean that they aren't a total disaster on the inside. Most people put more thought into buying a car than they do when choosing a romantic partner. People can hide who they really are for the first 90 days of a new relationship. Make your decisions based upon who people show and reveal themselves to be by examining their actions, not their promises or potential. Until potential new lovers prove themselves through their actions over time, you should keep them on dating probation and remain objective. And the reason I got into this place in my life is when you get burned enough, when you get caught up in your emotions and you get carried away into la la land like you see in the movies and TVs, and you come crashing down, enough times you go, you know what, maybe there is a way to refine my approach and do a better job of selecting the people that I choose to get romantically involved with, or at least emotionally involved with. So let's go through his email. He says, hey Corey, hello, I hope you're doing well. Well, fucking of course. I'm doing awesome. Thanks for asking. I want to start off by saying I am very grateful for all the work you make so readily available to the world. You've changed my life for the better. After reading your book several times, I have come across an issue that I feel I personally need you to address for me. A little backstory. I'm 18 years old and a freshman in college. Over the summer at orientation, I met a beautiful girl. That's how it happens. You're just living your life, going to college, following your mission, your purpose to take the next chapter in your education. And what happens? Boom, you meet a hot girl at orientation. You're not trying to pick up girls, you're just living your life, and you encounter a woman along the way, and you use the things that you learn, and it reveals that she's interested in you. And instead of talking her out of it like most guys do, what happens? We instantly clicked and ended our first night together great by hooking up. Think about it. It's the first time she's away from mom and dad, and she's out from underneath their thumb, and same thing with you. People are going to get their freak on, especially guys that get it and guys that understand the things that I teach in my book. Because especially at that age, there's so much awkwardness, and men and women just really, for the most part, are clueless. And you can have the upper hand, and you can have the edge in these situations. Not only if you're in college, but in your peer group or your social circle. The chemistry was there, and I found out that she lived just under an hour away from me. Naturally, we made plans to hang out several times over the summer, and in following exactly what you teach, I was simply focused on hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. Surprisingly, LOL, not really, she brought up the exclusivity label by week 6. Well, typically week 6, week 7 is usually on average what I see if you follow the progression in the book. However, don't make the mistake of doing what a lot of guys do, which is just focusing on the pickup and the dating skills and go, hey, I'm getting laid. She just asked me to be her boyfriend. I don't need that relationship crap, Corey. I don't need all that communication stuff. It doesn't apply to me. I don't need help with that. Until, of course, you do. Those skills only come into play later on down the line. And if you don't know what you're doing in that part of the relationship, you're going to have problems, and it's going to be completely preventable. I want this to be an easy, good, effortless experience for you. But you got to prepare, you got to do the work, you got to learn the fundamentals. 99% of the time when I do email coaching with people, or I'm doing phone sessions, I see the same things. It's the biggest difficulty that most people have is they do not take the time to read the book 10 to 15 times. And the ones that don't take me serious when I say that, those are the ones that get themselves into the biggest jams and are jumping through their butt in a big old emergency trying to figure out where to turn things around, what the magic pickup line is. And it's just a bad place. It's putting yourself behind the 8 ball when you really don't need to. So he continues on, we've been officially dating for 1 month now, and things have been outstanding in both the bedroom and in our communication. Well, sounds so good. So far, so good. I've been the charming James Bond you instruct your followers to be, and I'm confident when I say she is very attracted to my alpha male characteristics. Pride cometh before the fall, which I owe largely to your work. I wrote about this. I got full of myself. It's like, as soon as hey, I got this shit, man. I'm the man. I'm the Don on campus. That's when life comes and just completely blindsides you, which is basically what's going to happen to this guy. This is where it gets interesting, however. About a week ago, I noticed her talking in a flirty manner with a guy in the ROTC program. This is why you date. And it's like, because I get a lot of guys who are like, well, how do I keep my girlfriend from cheating? She's talking to exes. She's talking to this guy. She's talking to that guy. This is why you don't do anything. All you have control over is how you show up, being the best boyfriend that you can be. And even in being the best boyfriend that you can be, this is why you date. So you see how, because when the other person thinks they've got you, when they think that everything is great, and that you're totally on board and you've bought what they were selling you, in essence, then they feel comfortable enough to let the real person that they are starts to slip out. And so this is what's happening. He's been dating this girl off and on for a couple of months during the summer for, it's probably a month or two before. Usually I would imagine about 6 weeks before class is when orientation happens. So if we take that, so this whole thing's lasting, we're talking maybe 90 days in. Remember what I said in the quote. People can hide who they are for about the first 90 days. So you met, everything was la la land, goo goo gaga, you were hooking up right away, you're probably thinking, I can't believe how easy this is. I just got to college and I'm already getting my brains fucked out by my first college girl. This is great. All I had to do was read a book a few times and watch a few YouTube videos. This is great. And if I was your age, I'd be thinking the same fucking thing, because this is this one memory right here that you got with this girl, dude, is better than any memory that I had in college. So you crushed it compared to me, and so I think that's awesome that you can learn from all the mistakes that I make, and then boom, there you are, 18 years old, bam. That's fucking awesome. Either way, it's a victory. So you've already won, dude. So good for you. However, let's see what we can do to tweak things. He says, I was talking with some of her friends a few feet away, and I couldn't help but notice this. It bothered me, which it should, because remember, this is a girl who asked you to be her boyfriend. It bothered me, but initially, I smacked the wussy right out of me. You would have been proud of me. However, she told me earlier today that he had asked her to an ROTC dance and dinner event taking place in 2 weeks. It lasts all night, and no guy brings a lady there while not having the intention of seducing her. And if she is saying this to me with a straight face, I was like, you're the one that wanted to be exclusive and wanted me as your boyfriend, and I agreed to this, and now you're telling me you want to go out on a date with another guy? It's like, would you be okay if I went out with your hot single roommate and started fucking her while you're out on a date with this dude at the ROTC thing? Would that not bother you at all? Are you saying that you would like to have an open type of relationship with me? Is that what you want? You don't want to be exclusive anymore? Because quite frankly, you want to be boyfriend-girlfriend, and now you're bringing me this absurd question saying, hey, is it okay if I go on a date with some other guy? and you're texting this dude all the time? It's like, I mean, seriously, are you really asking me this with a straight face? I mean, really? Those are the kind of questions. He's turning around on her. How would you feel if I was going out with 2 or 3 other women? I mean, you wanted to be exclusive. Are you saying you want to have an open relationship and just date around? I can do it. That, no problem. Let's do that. You can go to that ROTC dance and hope you have fun. But from this point forward, we're not exclusive, and we're strictly going to practice safe sex, because if you're having multiple sex partners, I'm wearing a raincoat. I mean, that's a conversation you got to have with somebody. And I would say just what I said, because it's fucking absurd what she's asking you. He says, I'm average height, I have a strong build, and I'm very confident, but this man surpasses me in all those qualities. So obviously you can tell he's comparing himself. At the end of the day, dude, I seriously doubt whether this other guy knows the things that I teach in my book. Besides, this is just one girl that you met so far. And this is the girl that wanted to be exclusive with you, is actually bringing you this load of bullshit. Hey, I'm going to go to this ROTC dance, and, well, you know, and then so afterwards she goes to the dance, like, you know, it's funny, you got a hotel, you know, just in case we get tired later, and, you know, one thing led to another, and he kind of slipped, and his dick ended up inside me. It just kind of happened. I know I'm coming from a fearful mindset, but my girlfriend has told me she wants to go to this. It's like, honey, you absolutely can go to this, but you're not going to be my girlfriend anymore. You can be my friends with benefits or my fuck buddy if that's what you're telling me you want. My action was totally alpha, he puts in big letters. I said, you do whatever you want, baby. I trust you, with a little wink and a butt spank. Again, I think you would have been proud. Dude, that's the kind of thing you say to a girl you're just casually hooking up with. And not some girl who's asked you to be exclusive and who's your girlfriend, supposedly. You just basically said, hey, no problem, baby. You go fuck whoever you want. It won't bother me one bit. I would have never said that in that situation, dude. This is your girlfriend. That's like saying when you're married, hey, please fuck my wife. I mean, seriously, my wife needs some other dick besides mine, and, you know, maybe drop it in the ass a little bit. I mean, hey, you know. Please fuck my wife. And it's like, please fuck my girlfriend. It's, come on, think about it, dude. It's absurd. And so notice what he says next. After much reflection, however, I am most certainly not comfortable with her going with this guy to this dinner and dance. See, you took the indifferent thing a little too far, and had you have taken a little bit of time to learn the relationship stuff, you wouldn't be so willing to just go, yeah, sure, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Oh, you want to go on a date with somebody else to a dance and everything, and it's strictly going to be platonic, and even though you guys are texting all the time, and I can tell you're always flirting with him, and I'm sure there's nothing there besides just strictly something platonic. Yeah. The two have been texting of late, and I have a visceral instinct telling me to bring this topic up to her. Yeah, as soon as possible. Before I follow my instinct, I knew how important it would be to ask the opinion of my mentor and life coach. Any suggestions, advice would be greatly appreciated beyond belief. I know there are plenty of fish in the sea, but I don't want to handle this the wrong way and lose her because of my lack of concern. I would think at this point, dude, she's pretty much went from being girlfriend down to fuck buddy. She just disqualified herself from being an exclusive girlfriend. That's a fucking absurd statement. I can't believe she asked you that with a straight face. I feel as though the whole indifference thing can backfire if I do absolutely nothing. And I don't teach you to do absolutely nothing. I teach you to stand up for yourself and what you want. And what happened was you were not comfortable standing up for yourself and what you want, and you just went, okay, I'll act like I don't care. It's taken the playing it cool thing a little too far, and now you're not being authentic. So I would just say, hey, you know, I've been doing some thinking, obviously, and it's pretty obvious to me that you really like flirting with and chatting with this guy and texting him all the time. And I saw the two of you together when he first asked you out right in front of me. And quite frankly, you look like you're a little sweet on this guy. And so I look at this and I'm thinking, this is a woman who wanted to be my girlfriend, who wanted me to be exclusive, who wanted me to take myself off the market so I could date her and only her. But yet I see you flirting with this other guy. So quite frankly, when I look at your actions, sweetheart, what that tells me is that you're really being loyal and being in an exclusive relationship. It really doesn't mean a whole lot to you. And I'm quite frankly not interested in taking myself out of the dating game while you go and date other guys and sleep with them behind my back. It's like, that doesn't work for me. So quite frankly, what it sounds like, or maybe I'm totally wrong, but it sounds like you want to have an open relationship, or you want to be fuck buddies or friends with benefits, and you're not really interested in being boyfriend, girlfriend. Because quite frankly, if you're going to date this other guy, if you're going to continue to flirt with him in front of me, then that means that we're going to have an open relationship. I can date whoever I want, sleep with whoever I want, and you can do the same thing. And from now on, we're strictly going to do the safe sex thing. Because if you're sleeping around with other guys, I don't know who you're hanging out with or what you're doing, that doesn't work for me. But if by chance you've thought about all this, you thought, well, it's really stupid of me to ask my boyfriend if it's okay if I go on a date with another guy. It's like, I mean, come on. I would not. I would let her know that that's just, what do you want, honey? What kind of relationship do you want? Because if you're my girlfriend, you are absolutely fucking not going to this dance with him, and you're not going to be talking to this guy. You're saying, you know what, this is rude and disrespectful to my boyfriend, and I asked him to be exclusive with me, by the way. It's not cool. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to you for you and I to continue flirting and talking, and for me to go to dances and stuff with you. For some reason it doesn't work out with my boyfriend, then I'll get in touch with you. That's the kind of conversation you need to have with her. It's like, if we're exclusive, this guy, you're not dating this guy, you're not talking to this guy, you're not hanging out with him anymore, because that's rude and disrespectful. But if you don't think there's anything wrong with your behavior here, then quite frankly, you're not the girl I thought you were, and being exclusive with you is just kind of stupid on my part. Because you're not behaving like somebody who wants to be exclusive. You're behaving like somebody who's away from home for the first time in their lives and want to explore the field. And I think that's wonderful. If that's what you want, then let's clarify our relationship and have that kind of relationship. You need to stand up for yourself and what you want, dude. And you totally put your foot in your mouth. And you obviously know that you put your foot in your mouth by the next day you went, probably not a good idea that I agreed to that and told her it was okay to go to the dance. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen on any page, and just choose whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.